Am I the asshole for not letting my son's girlfriend and her children stay in my house? Around 2 years ago, my then 19-year-old son, who still lives at home, got into a relationship with a 29-year-old divorcee with 2 children. I had hoped back then that he will find someone closer to his age. But he didn't ask for my opinion, so I didn't butt into his life and wished them the best. He had a job and generally didn't bother me, so I let him live here to save some money. This went on all right for about 2 years. But around 2 months ago, he came home and asked me if it was okay for him to bring his girlfriend and her children home to live with us because they were getting evicted and had nowhere else to go. This wasn't acceptable to me because I simply didn't want to bear the cost of hosting them here, especially when she had 2 very young children. I also do not have an extra room for her in the house either. My son's room is very small, so they wouldn't be able to stay there. So I'd have to move my twins out of their room and into my son's room, and then move my son and his girlfriend into my twins' room. I didn't think that was fair to my children and didn't want to do the work either. This should have been the end of the discussion, but ever since then, my son started to look for fights with me. Like I would be watching the TV, and he would walk by and says, "What a stupid fucking show." Under his breath, that is just enough for me to hear. I would tell a joke at the dinner table, and he would roll his eyes and sarcastically laugh. Eventually, I had enough and asked what is his problem. And he blew up on me with a rant about how his girlfriend and kids are sleeping inside their car because I wouldn't take them in. I responded to him by saying that I am letting his adult ass stay in the house as a favor. I don't owe him shit, and if that is not good enough for him, he should pack his bag and join them in their cars. Am I the asshole? Story number 2. Am I the asshole for telling her if her life is so hard she can get a job? I do love her, but I am really annoyed right now. My girlfriend could not get through college because it was too difficult for her. She was 24. She was crying all the time and stressed out. She tried for multiple years but couldn't do it. She said it was too hard for her, and after discussing it a lot, I said she could drop out, and I'd take care of her. I liked the idea of giving someone I love a really happy and great life. She can enjoy herself and chase after hobbies. I always pictured myself with someone that was highly educated like I was, but I realized it doesn't have to be that way, and some people are happier without the capitalist grind. It was hard for a while, especially when we were younger and I was still in school, but I'm an engineer now. Since I am the only person providing, I work upper 40s to mid-50s every week. I love my job and I am passionate about what I do, but it is physically exhausting. It even zaps my energy on the weekends. I'm still really young though, so I am hoping to work less in the future. She does like 90% of the cooking and cleaning, but we have a smallish condo, live in a big city, and no kids. We do have a dog. So I was shocked when we were with new friends and she mentioned that she was a stay-at-home mom and it was the hardest job in the world, what she did. I corrected her and said we didn't have kids and didn't want any for the next 10 years. She said, "Sure, but our dog is our child." For the rest of the dinner, she went on to talk about how difficult being a housewife is with a woman there that was actually a stay-at-home mom. It really rubbed me wrong. I wouldn't ever say I have the hardest job in the world. Afterwards, I asked her what she meant. I said she was living the life. I would kill to be in her shoes. I'm clocking 50 hours a week while she's sending me pictures of her shopping at Target, spending hundreds somehow, and she has the hardest job in the entire world. I said that made me feel really underappreciated. She said I was underappreciating her. It is the hardest job. Cooking and cleaning is exhausting. She said she spent 6 hours on cooking yesterday, but I pointed out all she made was a chipotle bowl. If that's taking you 6 hours, something is wrong. She said she was counting in the hours she spent letting the beans simmer, like JFC. It comes off as extremely privileged, which she is, I guess. I told her she has no idea what it's like for me, she's never worked a full-time job, and it rubs me the wrong way she's talking about how hard cooking beans is. I said if it was that hard, she could go back to school or get a job and we'd hire a cook, cleaner. If I hired someone to do her job, I'd save a lot of money. It turned into a big fight. She called me an asshole. Am I the asshole? Story 3. Am I the asshole for assuming my friends were paying for my birthday meal? This happened a few days ago, and I have been conflicted since. Before my birthday, 5 of my friends asked if I would like to get some food and drinks out for my birthday event. I said, "Sure, where would we go?" Mike said, "Anywhere you like." I suggested a nearby steakhouse that I have been to in the past. We all met each other there. Mikey was quick to order himself a drink and started talking about appetizers. I said, "I don't normally eat them, but I will try one." We ordered our mains, and we all had ordered the steak and another round of drinks, at which point Adam also ordered a bottle of champagne. I said, "You guys don't need to get me champagne. It's only my birthday. Nothing too special." When Mike said, "Lighten up, birthday boy, have some fun," I did think maybe I was being too uptight, and since I was being treated, it's not too big of a problem. I may as well celebrate. Mike started arguing with the table next to us because they threw a French fry at him. I tried to explain to him that they weren't even eating French fries, he had them earlier, and must have dropped one. Then he stood up and started swearing at the table. There was a child at the table about 3 years old who looked absolutely shocked. I told Mike to sit down, and he started pushing me, saying, "That man threw something at me." The waiter came over and said there had been complaints against us. Mike just silently drank his beer, and Adam started arguing with the waiter, saying the other table started it. The waiter said we needed to pay up and leave in the next few minutes before there was a problem. I said, "Thanks, guys, do you want me to help pay?" At which point they all looked at me, and Adam said, "You're the birthday man, right? You got money," I said. "I thought you were inviting me because it's my birthday as a present." Adam chuckled a bit and said, "Weren't you the one that chose where we were going, bud?" Adam got up to leave and said, "Let's go, boys." I started to worry. I thought they were pranking me or something and said, "You can't really go." Then Adam started to walk away. So I grabbed him a bit, and he looked at my hand and said, "Get your hand off me, pal." I just looked at him and said, "Why are you acting like this, man?" They walked out and left me with the bill. I tried to explain to the waiter about the situation. He said, "Someone's got to pay, and your table was causing a lot of trouble tonight." I tried to apologize, but he just looked at me like I was dirt. So I just paid. It was most of my money. I spoke to my friends after, and they just acted like nothing happened. I said, "You guys need to pay me back." And I got several replies along the lines of, "It's already over, leave it." So I haven't spoken to them in a few days. I received a few messages asking me if I'm still crying or if I grew up yet. I haven't replied, and I want to know if I was wrong to assume that I wouldn't be paying. The whole situation had me feeling weird. Story 4. Am I the asshole for not wanting to send extra cash along with my monthly child support to help my child's mother out of a jam? For a bit of context, the mother of my child has 2 other kids who are not biologically mine. The firstborn she had before our relationship, the middle child, which is mine, and the youngest, which she had with her now husband. She also collects child support from me for our child, a third of my income specifically. Last night, I got a phone call from her telling me that her husband's car was broken into and that the B-Day gifts that her and her husband had hidden in there for the youngest's upcoming B-Day had been stolen. She then proceeded to ask me if I could send her extra along with my regular child support payment to help rebuy what was stolen. I tell her no, and essentially told her that this was her and her husband's issue since it doesn't involve my kid in any way. So she attempts to shame me, claiming that it's going to be my fault if her youngest doesn't get a B-Day. She also made sure to inform me that she will be taking me back to court to attempt to raise my child support and take away what little visitation I have if I don't send her the extra money. TLDR, mother's child is in a jam and I won't bail her out. Am I the asshole? Story 5. Am I the asshole? My sister brought her dog and I refused to get in the car. I, 26F, arranged for my sister, 29F, to pick me up from the airport. We do not live with each other, but close to each other, and it's roughly an hour to the airport. She shows up with her little dog in her lap. I tell her to put the dog in the back seat. She says no. I tell her I'm not getting in. I'm like, why the fuck would you bring it? It's fucking dangerous to drive with the dog in your lap. She says deal with it. I say no. I walk away and get a taxi. Sure, it cost me money, but in my opinion, it's safer. As soon as I walk away, she started blowing up my phone. Over the last day, she has been asking for gas money. I sent a simple text that said no. Am I the asshole here?